Ladies and gentlemen, I am delighted to be sharing this stage with all of you at the 13th Time Economic Forum. This event is an important point of reference for the European and global ICT community, and I want to start by praising and congratulating every member of the community. Today, citizens across Europe and the entire world are able to gather online in their hundreds and thousands. A mere decade ago, this would not have been possible. It is the hard work and commitment of all of you that has made possible the amazing progress achieved by the ICT sector toward connecting humanity. Ladies and gentlemen, while we in the ICT community have all been aware of the great power of connectivity to deliver sustainable development, the COVID-19 pandemic has prompted the entire world to take more and more decisive action to bring the whole of humanity online, and to ensure that through connectivity, we continue to benefit from essential services whilst we are locked down to limit and control the spread and keep us safe from the virus. In this context, the challenges have been numerous and at times seemed insurmountable. But through a global, all-stakeholder effort, we have managed to achieve continuity in our social and economic endeavors. ICTs are at the heart of this continuity of our lives through the pandemic. But globally, the ability to recover has not been uniform. While in Europe, the resiliency of existing infrastructure and services has allowed for a swift and effective transition to a virtual environment, many other regions have found it more difficult to adapt due to pre-existing gaps in infrastructure and their overall digital readiness. According to ITU's 2020 Measuring Digital Development Facts and Figures report, 3.6 billion people, or 49% of the global population, remain unconnected to the internet, a figure which is as high as 81% in least developing countries and 73% in landlocked developing countries. Our ITU Connecting Humanity report has estimated that approximately $430 billion would be needed to connect the unconnected globally by 2030. These figures will increase as digitalization and connectivity needs advance, such as in the case of 5G rollout or implementation of higher quality broadband services for households and businesses. There is no doubt as a region that Europe leads the broadband challenge. Europe is also making significant progress in terms of 5G implementation, particularly in the EU countries. However, ITU's recent study of 5G rollout in non-EU countries of the region shows that the situation in those countries differs, and several challenges, including spectrum, licensing, EMF, and ROI, still need to be addressed for all of Europe to advance in 5G connectivity. In particular, emerging technologies such as 5G, IoT, and AI represent a huge opportunity for accelerating socioeconomic development and must not be allowed to develop into a source of a potential new digital divide. The link between connectivity and prosperity remains true. According to our recent study, focusing on the Europe region, a 10% increase in mobile and fixed broadband penetration in Europe would yield an increase of 2.1% and 0.46% respectively in GDP per capita. The pace of technological innovation has reached astounding levels in the COVID-driven tech acceleration. But we must not forget that there is no progress without inclusiveness. ITU is committed to ensuring that significant divides that are observable within and across countries and regions are being thoroughly addressed. Ladies and gentlemen, the Telecommunication Development Bureau, BDT, which I have the pleasure to serve as Deputy Director, is working on a daily basis to reduce existing connectivity gaps to ensure that all countries can benefit fully from digital transformation. One of our flagship initiatives in this regard is the GIGA project, launched in the late 2019 in partnership with UNICEF. GIGA is aimed at connecting all children across the world, a goal which has become even more important given the situation created by COVID-19 and its impact upon schooling. GIGA leverages ITU activities such as our interactive transmission maps project, which seeks to map the global backbone infrastructure that is critical to the creation of effective access networks and broadband connectivity. This is bolstered by our last mile connectivity toolkit, which seeks to support countries in the challenge of connecting rural communities to address the still existing urban-rural digital divide. Infrastructure development, however, would not be possible without an enabling ICT regulatory environment. At ITU, we provide strong support to effective regulation through our yearly gathering of regulators and policymakers at the Global Symposium for Regulators. At this forum, we create a collaborative platform to help identify regulatory challenges and devise areas of action to support digital transformation. I hope to see many of you, if not all, at this year's edition of the GSR, which will take place virtually in July 2021, or at our regional event, the GSR Plus for Europe and Africa, which will be held on 14th April 2021, also virtual. In this context, ITU has recently launched a new framework of fifth generation regulation that looks at the changing paradigm of regulation, which is more and more based on inclusive and collaborative practices across sectors and among different stakeholders, rather than working in silos as we did in the past. Collaborative regulation will mirror the interplay between digital infrastructure, services, and content across industries and national borders. It will also help to harmonize rules and ensure consistent implementation of policy and regulatory frameworks, which have evolved independently in many sectors over the years, but are now inextricably linked by the cross-cutting power of ICTs. Again, Europe leads other regions in development of regulatory frameworks, with 28 fourth-generation regulators, including Poland, and 10 fifth-generation regulators. The average annual scores of Europe have consistently been the highest since 2007, making the region well prepared and well placed for high innovation dynamics, but also ready to react to unexpected events, including pandemics. Ladies and gentlemen, as highlighted at the beginning of my intervention, we as a global ICT community have achieved much over the past years to promote and further digital transformation. But there is much more that needs to be done. I invite you all to continue to partner with us and support our objective of connecting the unconnected by 2030. This year, with the ITU's World Telecommunication Development Conference, WTDC 21, scheduled to take place in November in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, under the theme Connecting the Unconnected to Achieve Sustainable Development, we look forward to establishing a new global agenda for meaningful connectivity that will facilitate digital transformation and accelerate the achievement of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. Let me conclude by thanking you for the invitation to present at this 13th Time Economic Forum, and to congratulate the government of the Republic of Poland for the great progress achieved with regard to the country's level of digital transformation and to the remarkable Polish ICT ecosystem. You are an inspiration and benchmark for Europe and globally. Please let me also use this occasion to express sincere thanks to the European Commission, Bereaux, the Eastern Partnership, and CEPT and other European partners for your continuous collaboration with the ITU towards advancing the connectivity agenda in Europe and the world. I wish you all a successful forum and continued success in your efforts to advance and promote ICT development. Thank you very much.